You're getting clicks, people find your pins, they click through to your website, and then nothing happens. So you decide to change your ad creative, your targeting, the budget, and still it's crickets. So usually there's either one of two problems that is really happening behind the scenes, and they have two very different ways to fix them. So let me break down for you very quickly how to diagnose what problem you have and how to fix it. Let's go. The first thing you want to do is go into your metrics. So you go to your Pinterest account and open Campaign Manager, it's called right now. Sometimes it's called ad reporting, but you have to go to your data and then go and look at the campaigns that you're running and see how your CTR is doing. If you have a very low CTR, you are actually having a creative problem, and we can fix that really easily. And a low CTR would be below 0.5%. If you have a good CTR or pretty decent, like 1% or higher, and you're getting outbound clicks, but you're not getting any sales, you very likely have an issue where you're either targeting the people who are not ready to do a purchase, or you have a landing page problem where there is a mismatch between your ad and the product page. And going into your data is can be kind of scary, but I promise you, just do it and you'll know right away. And you can follow along with this video and you'll know what to do, and you can stop guessing. Now let's start with the big one, because most meta advertisers, they struggle to get their Pinterest ads profitable because of this easy fixable problem. Pinterest users basically have two modes. There's the search and browse mode that people are looking for inspiration, and there's the search and shop mode where people are looking to do a purchase, get a solution, or do a certain shopping session just because they want to. And your creative is going to determine which person you're speaking to. And there's a couple of things that I see happen very often. And the first thing is that a lot of meta advertisers basically repurpose their best performers into Pinterest ads. And while that sounds great, because how good would it be that you can just repurpose that best performer straight into Pinterest? They always bomb. It almost never works out. And my theory, like I don't have all the answers, of course, but I think that is because people on Pinterest, they're behaving very differently. They're looking for a purchase or they're looking for inspiration. And Meta has the very interrupt marketing where you're in the feed. Also, your ad is really big. And influencer or UGC content is really big as well and works really well. And I see that that doesn't necessarily translate to Pinterest, because people go to Pinterest to implement something in their own life, or kind of like they want to see how something fits in their own life, and they're not looking for that influencer telling them how to do something or what to purchase or how to fix a problem they have. And that is a very big difference, and that's why very often the meta creatives really fall flat on Pinterest. Another thing I see happening is that the pins are just too pretty. So people have like a lot of fun creating gorgeous images, but keep in mind what the goal is of the product. The person that is seeing your pin needs to think, okay, how will this make my life better? Or how will this make the life better of the person I'm gifting this product to? And that is like not the same content. Seeing like a couch in a living room with gorgeous curtains and like cushions and everything around it isn't necessarily going to translate into like that moment of I want to purchase that couch. It could also be, oh, that vibe is really great for something I like for my living room that I'm going to be remodeling in the next coming years. So you want to keep that in mind, that if you're purchase like those people are looking for something, and they need to understand why your product is so special in at a glance in a couple of seconds. So either show, so for example, if you're selling backpacks, show a video of all the little part the compartments where people can store stuff, or how easy it is to sling over your shoulder, or how it will look with an autumn look, a spring look, a winter look, and a summer look. Stuff like that is how people are going to translate your product into their life. And that's what you have to keep in mind because it's so different from Meta. And people come here with a search intent, with a purchase intent. And you want to speak to those people because if you're not speaking to those people, your pins are going to get a ton of saves and maybe some outbound clicks. But because you're speaking to those dreamers, those people are thinking about the next 5 years, yeah, sure. They might purchase your product in a couple of years, but you want the sales now, right? Not in 3 years or something. So that's why you want to focus on creating that content that speaks to people who are ready to get a solution, ready to do a purchase. So make sure to create content or create pins that are really product centered, really all about your product and how it will fit into the life of your customer. And you're going to be golden. It's not that complicated. And don't let yourself get scared by people who create gorgeous pins. And sure, it is pretty. But in the end, what matters is if you're getting sales. And then sometimes the creative is fine, but the problem is where people are landing on. If your pins are getting like a decent amount of clicks and you're getting people on your website and you know that your website is kind of converting because your meta ads are working, it could still be that the problem is that Pinterest shoppers are a different kind of beast. They are very often pretty intentional and they really want to make sure that their product they're purchasing is the right one because on average their average order value and their lifetime value is 2 to 3 times higher than it is on Meta, and that's what Pinterest is saying. So don't like I haven't done the research, but that's what they're saying. And that is because people are intentional. They want to do a purchase, and when they're doing the purchase, they're doing it the right way. But that means that your product page is going to need more trust signals. Do you have those reviews? Are the reviews verified? Or do you have something like Trustpilot connected or whatever kind of website you're using? And also, is it clear to have like, how do the return policy work? Does your product actually look like the product that is on that you're showing? Is it the same as it is when it's going to be shipped? Because with all the drop shipping and the spammy stores over the last couple of years, people have lost a ton of trust. And especially Pinterest shoppers, they're like really worth the money, but they need a little bit of extra convincing. And they won't be as likely to purchase something from a very drop shippy store. So you need to add those couple of trust signals. And then a last thing that is, well, not as easy to fix, but it's a problem that is happening so very often is that the landing page is just loading way too slowly. Make sure it's mobile optimized and it loads really quickly. So if you have those images that are really heavy, see if you can like I want to say compromise them, but that's not the right word, but make them smaller and then re-upload them because the quality isn't always necessarily it doesn't always need to be that high to give really pretty images on your product page. So those are kind of like quick, easy fixes. Make sure your description isn't like very technical, but also speaks to the customer. And add that context, add those reviews, add those images where people can see how it's actually looking in real life and not only as your product mock-up, basically. I'm going to be sure that your Pinterest ads conversions are going to go up because they need a little bit of extra convincing compared to Meta. And if you are not really sure what the problem is for you, I created a free tool that you can use to diagnose what the problem is. It's like a couple of minutes. You just have to ask closed questions where you have to pick the right answer, and then it will spit out what your problem is and how to fix it. And it's below this video. You can just use it. And I hope that it will help you, especially if you're getting a little anxious when you're in the data or when there's a lot of data that is maybe a little off or telling you different signals. And then in the next video, I'm going to share with you what the 3 things are that I'm always checking when I'm opening an underperforming Pinterest ads account. And we're going to make sure that you'll have some quick fixes too in there. I'll see you in the next video.